Oh man, here we go again. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome yourselves back to the channel that is taking a look at the total meltdown occurring in the UK right now because the woke activists, for the first time in what seems like, well, a very long time, have to deal with common sense. You know, I always say it's like vampires in sunlight. Once they're exposed to it, that is it. They simply cannot handle it and they lose it. You know, the reaction to the UK Supreme Court ruling that trans women are not women has been nothing but insane. If you didn't go ahead and check out my previous video of me showing you guys how people are dealing with this, I highly recommend you do. People are literally in tears over this news. And in this episode today, it's just gonna further prove these people, man, they are not taking this well. We're going to be taking a look at this debate that took place on Talk TV between Julia Hartley Brewer and a non-binary, whatever that means, journalist, and you are simply not going to believe what happened. I actually burst out laughing when I first saw it. I know, I'm such a mean and hateful person. I really do apologize. I'm trying to be better. I am. But one of the reasons I want to show you guys this debate, apart from it being, well, hilarious, is it's just going to highlight how weak and emotional society has really become. It is so obvious to see by the end of this. Even Stevie Wonder could see it. I'm going to get cancelled one day. But before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, if you could, as always, make sure to leave a like rating as it really helps out the video. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. But enough of all of that. Let's all sit back, relax, and take a look at what happened. Again, you ain't gonna believe it. These people, nut jobs.
The law can define a woman however it wants. You can call whoever you want, whatever pronouns you want, but what are you really going to do? Are you going to make people cis or trans carry ID with them so that they have to prove who they are? Because to me, that sounds like 1930s Germany. If I were to call this out for the BS that it is, and if I were to swear on air, I would be in more trouble personally than any bigoted politician or presenter that has ever played a part to further marginalise this already vulnerable community. Right. Despite the years and even decades that some broadcasters have dedicated to vile and hateful dog whistles about communities that bring so much joy and happiness and creativity to the world and this country, I just think that the people who are celebrating this with their bottles of champagne are going to look back, or hopefully we are going to look back at them and think that it's actually quite dark and quite disturbing that what they are celebrating is a separation of vulnerable people from society who are not going to be able to access the services that they need to access.
Yes, apparently if you're celebrating this with your bottles of champagne, you are a terrible person. If you're celebrating that we now have a legal definition of a woman, you're just so terrible. I don't know what planet these people are living on right now. I really don't. It's always the same with these people. Truth, reality, common sense. They hate it. They want to live in a land of delusion. And anybody who celebrates truth, reality, common sense are the worst people on the planet. I think some people need a lot of help. I'm not gonna lie.
There's a lot to unpick there. Are you including me, just out of interest, in the vile and hateful dog whistle broadcasters?
It's a self-ID situation. If you feel you sit into that...
No, well, I don't, obviously, because
well,
I've not been hateful about anyone who's trans or...
If you
so, do you? I'm asking you.
It's not for me to put you in a category.
It's not for you. Okay. Right, here we go. Right, you say it's shameful. You think this in the future will be regarded as shameful. I mean, you obviously think it's shameful now. And trans activists, many of them argue it is. Right?
I'm not a trans activist. I'm just a person.
But I'm talking about many trans activists. I wasn't including them.
They're so arrogant and smug. It's actually hilarious.
Description and categorisation. Well, no, I mean, that's like saying, well, a table or a dog is beyond description and characterisation. We have words, and words are only useful as an ability to communicate between human beings because we all agree what those words mean. So if I hold up this navy blue mug and say that's orange, and use well, we have to be using words that have the same meaning. It's navy blue. So when I say it's navy blue, then you have to understand that as the same thing as I understand that. Otherwise, it's a meaningless conversation. So when we have a conversation about what is a woman, we need to all know what we mean by that. Now, it's your view and the view of many activists, I'm not saying you are, and many activists, that women has a number of different categories. People who were born women and are women, and men who believe that they are women or have a piece of paper saying they are women. The Supreme Court was very clear. They're saying not only is the law now, they're saying it has always been the case that because you have a piece of paper, even a piece of paper, a gender recognition certificate, saying that you are legally a woman if you're born a man, you are not in fact a woman. Do you not accept that, or do you accept that ruling?
I mean, like, that's whatever. Like,
No,
for
that's
me,
not an answer to a question.
Let me
You're
finish
not
my
a 12-year-old.
Let me finish my sentence. That is to me whatever, because for me and my community, trans women are women. They have always existed. They will always continue to exist.
What does that mean, they've existed?
Well, they've always been.
No one's saying they're figments of imagination.
Yeah, but we are saying that they're women.
No, saying they exist is not the same as saying they're women.
Well, I'm saying that they're women.
But that's not the same as saying they exist.
Fine, if the law doesn't want to...
Well, no, we need to use words that have a meaning.
Well, here's the words that have the meaning, because I've spent time to write these words, right, for you.
And we listen.
Well done to you.
I would rather share a bathroom with 100 trans women than one legal biological woman who wants to know what's inside my pants. And Julia, if I'm right in remembering, you did ask me what my genitals look like once live on TV.
I think that was in the context of a conversation and you raised that issue
yourself. I remember the quote.
Yeah.
You don't have dangly bits, do you? So do you want to discuss dangly bits or not? Because frankly, I am now feeling in a position where I'm in a room with you and I feel unsafe. Yeah.
You feel unsafe?
I feel unsafe. I feel my heart racing. My hands are starting to sweat. Do you want to touch my hand? Just clammy now. Okay. And I actually think I'm about to have a panic attack from sitting in a room with you. So I'd like to leave now. Yeah.
So you're feeling...
Yeah,
you were asked to come on the show to have a conversation.
And I've had a conversation.
We had a very nice...
We've had a conversation.
Well, you read out a statement, and now I'd like to ask you some questions.
You read out your statement. You did at the beginning.
A statement. No, that's me introducing the topic for people who are just tuning in and
you added your ad-libs. You got to say what you thought about it. I've said my piece, and now I'd really like to go.
I thought you actually plugged into a mic there. I thought we were going to have a conversation.
Oh my word. Let's just set something straight right now. These are the sort of people, and I would say most people in this woke mob are like this because they're all so emotional about everything, but these are the sort of people that want to tell everybody how to think, how to act, and how to talk. And if you think differently to them, if you say anything differently to them, that's it. You're mean, hateful, etc., etc. What? It shows a lot of these people who are caught up in all of this are just mentally unstable. And that's the facts, because people who are stable, secure in their emotions, and aren't upset and angry over everything, don't act like that. They are incapable of having a conversation. As soon as the conversation doesn't go their way, we see it all the time. They overreact. They get very upset. Oh no, I don't want to do this anymore. I have to leave. You agreed to debate, Julia. And now you're sat there saying, oh, my hands are getting sweaty. I feel unsafe. I might have a panic attack. What did you think Julia was gonna do to you? She just asked a few questions. Is that how much questions upset these woke activists? I think people just need to grow up, man up, and deal with life. We have created this very soft society. You know, especially with the younger generations, they've been wrapped up in cotton wool for so long, and people have been scared to say no. When you create this kind, tolerant society of absolutely everything, you stand for absolutely nothing. In my opinion, when she says, or they say, or Z/Z, I don't know what pronouns they use, I don't want to be hateful and discriminatory and be whatever other buzzword they use. But when this activist says, I feel unsafe, my hands are starting to sweat, and whatever else she said, to me, that's her saying, I'm getting angry because you're challenging what I have to say. You know, people have been saying for far too long, you know, we need to create a stronger society based in reality, not delusion. And because we haven't, this is a consequence. Again, people simply not being able to have a conversation. It's kind of concerning when you think about it, right? Anyway, I could keep going on and on and on at how embarrassing that was, but I want to hear your thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts on that debate? Did you laugh like I did? Or am I just that horrible? Let me know if you have enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. But until next time, it has been your host JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out.